Today we're installing a Madjax light kit designed for a Club Car Precedent. Included in the kit is the headlight bumper, 2 tail lights, a main wiring harness including the switch, and a fuse wire assembly and zip ties. To do this, we're going to use a 10mm and a 13mm socket, an 1¼ hole saw, a T30 and a T15 torque bit, and a marking pin. We're also going to use 2 cordless drills, a number 2 Phillips tip, and a 7/16 drill bit, a tape measure, and safety equipment. Now let's get started. Our first step, we're going to drill the hole out for our push-pull switch. Today we're installing a Madjax bucket harness designed for a Club Car Precedent. We're going to install this on 2 separate battery packs, one an 8-volt and one a 12-volt. On the 8-volt configuration, we're going to install a Madjax 16 to 12-volt reducer. But before we get started, we're going to explain the bucket harness. I'm going to show you first the tail lights. The only thing you need to be aware of here is the passenger side tail light has a yellow wire in the center of the 3-pin connector. Next, we have our battery hookups. You have a yellow male connector as well as a female spade connector that hooks up to your batteries. We also have 3 wires that run to your brake switch. You have a female bullet connector, a female spade connector, and a male bullet connector. These hook up to your ultimate light kit upgrade. Last, we have a 12-pin connector which runs all the way to your front dash and plugs into your Club Car factory harness. Now let's get started. To begin, we're going to run our tail light wires through our body. The thing we need to remember here is that the yellow wire is for the passenger side. You can use a wire snake and retrieve your tail light harness when you cut out for your tail light hole. Now we're going to run our harness to our front dash. To do this, we're going to have to remove a lot of factory parts so we can get to our channels. First thing we're going to do is pop off the front of our body, as well as take the floor mat and the brake cover off. Now that we have all of our full bore removed, we're going to run our harness to our front dash. We're going to start by running our 12-pin connector through the channel behind our forward reverse switch. Pull off this front cover, give ourselves a little more room. Want to feed that 12-pin connector down through. Once it's through, we can feed our 3 wires for our brake switch in as well. You want to leave enough wire so that you can hook up to your battery pack. Now that we run our bucket harness through our access hole, we're going to take our brake switch wires and run them through the center channel and securely tuck them inside your brake cavity. Next, we're going to take our 12-pin connector harness, run it around, and then slide it into the passenger side channel. And this is going to run all the way into our dash. Now we're ready to remove our dash. I'm going to remove 3 factory bolts. Now that we have our dash removed, we're going to hook up our bucket harness to our light kit main harness. This is the one that runs to the front bumper and headlight. You want to plug your 2 12-pin connectors in, as well as plug your gray wire from your bucket harness to your gray wire on your factory Club Car harness. Plug those 2 bullet connectors in. Now we're going to attach our bucket harness to our battery pack. You have a blue male spade connector coming off of the number 3 battery that we're going to hook up to our blue female on our bucket harness. Now, since this is an 8-volt system, we're going to take our male bullet connector and using our Madjax 16 to 12 volt reducer, plug your male bullet connector into your female on your voltage reducer harness. Next, we're going to take our male bullet connector, which is included in the kit, and attach this to our female yellow connector on the battery pack. Now that we have our harness attached for our reducer, we're going to plug our small harness into our reducer. You are now complete in your Madjax bucket harness installation for an 8-volt battery pack. Once we have our dash removed, we're going to take our knob off of our push-pull switch, as well as the first nut. First thing we're going to do, insert that through the hole we drilled from the first step. Reattach our nut, put our knob back on. Once we have our push-pull switch installed, we can attach our main harness. The main harness consists of a 9-pin connector as well as 4 other wires that go to our Ultimate Light Kit upgrade, 2 yellow wires which run to our push-pull switch, our 12-pin connector which mounts to our factory harness, and a 6-pin connector which we run to our front headlight. So the first thing we're going to do is attach our 12-pin connector, attach our push-pull switch. Once we have our other wires safely behind the dash, we can run our 6-pin connector through our channel for our front headlight. Now that we've reattached our dash, we're going to remove our front bumper. There's 2 bolts located behind the bumper. We're going to use our 10mm and our 13mm socket and retain those bolts. Remove our front bumper, we're not going to need that anymore. The 2 bolts that we removed, one here, one here. We're going to use these to attach our front headlight. We're going to attach our headlight and bumper here and here using that factory hardware, just like this. Also, using the 6-pin connector that we ran through our front dash, we're going to attach our headlight here. And these extra 2 wires are for the Ultimate Light Kit upgrade horn. Once both bolts are in place, we can tighten. Now we can attach our 6-pin connectors. We can secure our harness with the zip tie provided. Next, we're going to install our tail lights. We're going to install our tail lights. What we've done is we've made a hole 2 1/4 inches from the flat side of our curve here, centered, as well as 1.5 inches from the top of our bumper, centered, drilled a hole. So what we're going to do now is take a wire snake, find your factory wire harness on this particular cart, feed that wire through. Once you get your factory 3-prong wire pulled through, attach it to your tail light. Now we're going to remove our tape. Feed our 3-prong back through. Press down your tape. You can also notice that on the bottom side of your tail light, it should hug the bumper like this. Now, using the screws provided, we're going to attach our tail light. Now we can repeat this process on the passenger side. Now that we have our tail lights installed, we're going to hook up our fuse wire assembly. First thing we're going to do is remove the seat bottom. And using our 10mm socket, we're going to remove the electronic component cover. Now we're going to take our fuse wire assembly and going from the blue wire on the number 4 battery plug our fuse wire assembly in. And there's also a 12-gauge blue wire on the passenger side of the component box that we're going to plug in as well. Once all our wires are secured, we can reinstall our electric component cover and our seat bottom, and we're complete with our Madjax Club Car Precedent light kit installation.